Hello, everyone. Welcome back to where I am. I think everyone in my Discord is having a hard time because everyone's spinning, but they're literally spinning. That was this week's surprise. Once again, gang, great silent visual gags audio show.
No, see, it's actually like a two-level
Gaffer
gag.
for you,
First,
Scoot, to be clear. They are to utterly disrupt your introduction.
there's
Apologies, audience. This part's not for you. It's for Scoot.
Is it for me? I don't think it's for me.
the first level of the gag is for you, and then the second part of the gag is where you struggle to explain it to the audience, and that's also funny.
Okay. Welcome back to Ryan, everyone. We're gonna. God, I am. My gyms are rustled. You were right. Now you're gonna get an anathema group to come kill you. Is what's gonna happen now. But that's for more planning. Welcome back, everyone. As we always do, we will start off with our introductions. And this week's question I pose to the gaffers is, what, a lot of people like to pick random nonsense to really feel passionately about. For example, like Coke and Pepsi, CrossFit, things like that. So I asked the group, what's the hill, or at least one hill or the hill your character would die on that is absolutely ridiculous, but they're still going to die on it. So take it away, guys.
I don't remember the ridiculous part of the assignment that added. I could start. Hi, my name is Randall, and I play Kiki, the Kenku Tinkerer. And I thought about this and at first was thinking, Kiki would die for her mentor. She doesn't really have a lot of strong bonds as much as she is getting to be close with this group. And I was like, no, it needs to be like an issue or topic or something, the principal. And I thought she would be greatly upset if anyone fucked with one of her inventions, but she could still rebuild an invention. So I think it comes down to if knowledge was going to be destroyed. So basically Kiki would go to bat for a Library of Alexandria. She would basically be something like that, where it's knowledge, irreplaceable knowledge, censorship or something along those lines. That's the hill she would die at 100%. She would be chucking out books from the scrolls from the fire. She'd be just messing with people who were trying to do something like that, like book burners and stuff like that. So that's probably the hill she would die at.
Okay, thank you, Randall.
I can go. I'm Deb. I play Tessa, the Thief Paladin, and I like to think that she's pretty understanding of most things, and there's not a lot that's going to really rustle her jimmies too much. I mean, there's the usual demons and shit, but if we're talking something weird, she has a very intense hatred of celery and thinks it shouldn't exist, and it is an abomination to the vegetable world.
Yeah, just heads up, your microphone is cutting in and out a little bit. We did hear all of that, but it's going in and out.
Yeah, that'll get fixed next week with my new headset.
Yay!
Well, I know what to instruct my chefs to put on your plates in the mornings.
She will fight you. She'll fight somebody.
And actually, Allie would fight you on this one too, because the stupid hill that Allie is willing to die on. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm our resident half tiefling, half kitsune monk. Allie firmly and strongly believes that anybody who does pranks, which the prankee cannot laugh at or enjoy, should be strung up by their toes. So, dyeing your siblings' fur a different color, totally fine. Dyeing their fur a different color the day before they have a major interview or a dance to go to, asshole behavior, should not do it. Anybody who does those, basically, if somebody in Ryan did the equivalent of those YouTube pranks where you run up and grab somebody's butt in public, or you knock stuff off, she would fight him.
Don't ruin anybody's day and you're good.
For the viewers, everyone besides going ugh collectively scowled, and it was fabulous. I suppose I'm last. Hello, I'm Robert. I play Nikki, the human wizard, and her hill to die on. I went extremely petty. If she sees someone taking notes with a dull pencil, Or worse, a pen that's like half running out of ink, so like every other letter is like hard to read.
Yeah.
She will take it out of their hand and sharpen it or replace it.
It's my favorite of the night. I do have a clarification question for Deb, though. Ants on a log, how would Tessa feel about that?
Like actual ants on an actual log?
No. So,
that was a very Tessa answer.
I know.
I don't know what that is. Is that a
So
thing?
it's celery that has peanut butter and raisins, like in the
No,
in the
fuck
tube.
that. It is. It's on celery.
Okay, I didn't know how far the hatred
Also,
extended.
IRL, fuck that. That's just terrible.
All right, I may be projecting a little bit. Because
I
if my
love
boyfriend
ants
is
on a log.
Basically, I think Scoot was hoping that the peanut butter would provide this protective coating or this shell around which then you, or it would coat the celery taste.
Nope.
Ah.
Nope. You can't convince me that shit doesn't taste like dirt. Anyway, that's my hill.
Clearly.
Celery
So, we will now pick up where we left off last week with the Gaffers had just spent a lot of time and discovered some very interesting temple complex to Fran sheep, of which Tessa was made Fran's champion, who was a part of the Aloran pantheon, representing the aspect of love known as philia, or like a friendship type love. The Gaffers have moved further north towards a place called Mertown, which is this one of the highest reaches of the Free Peaks, that shares the sort of sister twin city with a merfolk settlement known as Tides Breach. Along the way, the Gaffers, taking the road, saw in the far, kind of off in the distance, much like you would see a cruise ship if you were at the beach, they saw a very large sea turtle known as a shellback. Shellbacks are used to patrol very valuable waters to the merfolk, and they can often bring down ships with their very giant jaws. So think of like a dragon turtle, but bigger. But you folks you're entering the town. As we speak, as you're riding in. Mertown is a very typical kind of seaside town. Most of its exports involve around fishing. There are oysters in these waters, as well as like crabs, and these various types of seafood, things you'd pull from there. It's the biggest part of it. There are some farms in the outlying areas growing spuds, taters and wheats, heartier wheats. But besides fishing, a lot of the money comes from trade with Tides Breach and the merfolk. The merfolk have traditionally been very interested in what they refer to as surface goods, so things you can't really make underwater. For example, a lot of weapons, jewels, things that come out of the earth itself that they have a harder time getting to being under the waves. It is a fairly peaceable town. Nikki, you've probably heard of it from being in the area. There are a number of landmarks. There is actually one of the biggest things that is about as far out onto the beach as it can reasonably go, is a statue, a monument that is a symbol of the cooperation between the surface and the merfolk, because you folks would know in Ryam that surface civilizations and merfolk have had a long dotted history of conflict. The merfolk very much have thought the waves belong to them, as do all the sea trades, and some enforce that in a more militaristic way. Some think the planet needs to be shared by all the sentient life on the globe. But there was a lot of tension that probably Nikki would remember reading from the last great human empire about 1,000 years ago, and what is referred to as the Merfolk Imperium. So the empire beneath the waves. Those two fought a lot for control of the planet.
Especially being from Ventos, that's meaningful local history too.
Yep. You've probably met merfolk in your time. Maybe not this region's particular brand, as these are much colder waters than what you're used to. But they seem friendly enough, and as you walk around the town, besides the kind of, you're noticing humans, of course, because humans are just kind of everywhere. There are a bit of dwarves. There's a lot of
humans.
There also appear to be a number of Goliath and Arakoa, so winged bird people, but they can fly, unlike your personal bird friend.
Aw.
Sad.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very important question, though.
Yes.
Are people singing sea shanties? This is
Yes.
So you folks,
for flavor, I need to know.
right?
Or merfolk against it? Like,
oh, they're not
chickens
against
are
it.
Okay.
That's they have different ones that they're more traveling songs than the merfolk, although the context is different because they don't travel above the surface very often. They're more.
Are they like
below.
in Harry Potter where like they can only sing underwater? If they try to sing above ground, it just sounds like screeching.
Some of them, but they would not be the ones here. Like there are types of merfolk that do not leave the depths. They are more fish than like humanoid. The ones around here would be more similar to tridents from the D&D, like in the D&D universe, of course. There's also ones that sort of look like Naga from WoW. They have a more serpentine tail, but they're able to get on land. But Rob would know, or Nikki would know that like merfolk tend to not stray too far inland unless there's like a very deep river or a marsh. With the exception of probably the tridents, most of them don't like. Some of them very much want to be near the water. They prefer it. It is their sort of natural environment. Being up here would sort of be the same as you folks. Even if you had a water breathing spell, being underneath the water, where can you do it? Yeah, you'll be okay. You'll survive. But like, it's a very odd sensations you're not used to, having like water surround you and for them to not have water around them. But up here, the ones that are clearly coming and going are very used to this environment of like being amongst the land dwellers. It is sort of towards not quite midday. It's kind of getting into mid to late afternoon as you folks have arrived, and it's sort of the boats are coming in, the ones that are coming in from their daily fishing. So it's about that time when the town is starting to come a little bit more alive as people are coming in to sell things, store things, get their stuff together, head to the various tap houses, a few of the other establishments. Some people to get absolutely hammered until the next day when they have to get back on the boat. Some of these folks have, very clearly, Robin, you would know this from Ventos, like, some of these folks have definitely been in the water for a while, and maybe not have been on land for a bit because they've just been out fishing that long. Some of them are coming back from day trips. Some are maybe out for a couple of days, some weeks. There's also, interestingly enough, 2 or 3 larger trader ships. Not like a cargo ship like we know, but definitely something bigger that is looking for goods. Once again, being Nikki docksborn and being on the dock, these are not like freighters that are here on like an established trade route necessarily, but these are just merchants that have pulled in to see what's here, barter, sell some stuff, and then move on, kind of more exploratory. The banners they bear, one is from Thunderblade, one is from the Thousand Isles and is crewed by lizard folk, and one is from a place called Sibin Or. It bears the mark of, who might know this? Make a history check, folks. Let's see who knows this.
I got a 10. That's
got a 10.
starting off strong.
You're rolling 6s at least.
8 for Al.
8 for Allie? Well, Tessa, wow.
Well,
It's a 10, an 8, and a 6, so we're heading in a very rough direction, folks. So, Nikki, you want to maybe help your friends to see if you're the one that tends to know things.
I would like to, but unfortunately, I also rolled a 10.
so maybe we could put our heads together.
Okay, Tessa, between you and Nikki, let me see what Thrax gets. Thrax rolled pretty high. He rolled a 15 on the dice, which is more than any of you. So he looks at it and he informs you that these are from an area called Winfer, which is a sort of matriarchal theocracy to the west of here. It's a country that is mostly run by women, though. And at one point, he remembers a story hearing from some of the traders back in Shantha about how, like, it was all women, and then everyone kind of went, we don't work like that. Like, that's not how humans work. Like, there need to be some men to propagate the species. Some of it tails, but it is a country the vast majority of folks there are ladies, or people that identify as such.
Woo. Girl power.
Okay. Are there any long haul ships from Ventos?
Not right now. There's one from Thunderblade.
Yeah.
From Winfer, and from the Thousand Isles to the south.
Thunderblade, Winfer, 1,000 Isles. I'll write that down somewhere. Just here. Okay, do we want to go try and... our actual goal is to find info on the Assassin's Guild and track down Rush, hopefully. Brush? Which one was his name?
Brush was the gentleman that scout told you had put a hit out on you. Mm-hmm. He was an assassin. These, quote-unquote Assassin's Guild is usually part of the Thieves Guild that's around here, at least whatever count. The Thieves Guild is a very loose term. There's not like there's the Thieves Guild Hall where you go to fill out paperwork to have thief activity. That's not really how they operate. There's usually...
That would be great.
Yeah, they're not that bureaucratic. The Badgers are, but that's a whole other thing. But these folks... You ask the right questions, the right places, you'll get to whatever particular nest you need to be in.
Okay. It occurs to me that perhaps I should not be obviously walking around like me if they are continuing to put hits out on me.
Good point.
Probably not a bad idea. Also, I mean, given that none of us, to my knowledge, read the cant, we should probably... Actually, probably the best place to start would be to go to a Badger's Den and ask them for suggestions.
That sounds reasonable. Do any of you guys, are any of y'all particularly good at disguising?
I was just looking at my book here. Nope.
Not a
thing I do.
question.
Yes.
Does my glamour charm only work on me, or can it be given to someone else to use?
It works on... We didn't say it didn't work on other people, but then you're fully out.
I'm aware.
Okay, then you can give it to Nikki if you'd like.
I just wanted to know if that was a thing that would happen.
Yeah. I would say let's start at a Badger Den. I feel like disguise / identity protection services are something that they can probably... That sounds badgery.
And they'll probably, like, if I ask them to do it, they'll probably, because they're a Lauren-based.
The Lauren connection. Nikki, I think we should dress you up like a boy. No one would ever recognize you.
We're gonna have to get rid of the winged eyeliner. I'm sorry.
Eyeliner.
You will get more pockets though, for a consolation.
Ooh, fresh pockets.
You might have to wear pants though.
For pockets, it's worth it. Not
Maybe
for
we
much
can,
else. Not for
Maybe
much
we
else.
can whip up a little like a curly mustachio.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, I'll put on some pants and look as take off my eyeliner and look as boyish as possible.
Okay, are you taking
at least to start with?
Are you taking the glamour charm, or are you just doing this simple disguise currently?
I would say so. If I take the glamour charm, I maybe won't be like quickly killed, which is cool, but that will attract a whole different suite of attention. So I'm thinking let's with Allie like fully like all the tails out and everything.
But you know what I can do? Instead of giving you that, I can give you my glamour weave scarf thing.
Oh yeah, you can make that look something, and you can put it like around your head to like,
Yes.
cover your
Ooh,
face. And
Sweet
Yeah,
babushka.
any glamour weave clothes
Yep.
can feature incredible illusory effects that alter their appearance, perhaps making them seem wreathed in flame or as though patterns on the cloth moved. So it's not so much that like it's going to make you look like someone different, but it's going to look different and distracting in a way that means, hey, maybe people don't look at your face quite as closely.
Okay, I'll give it a go. Yeah. So we'll go for like simple disguises. So I'll dress as boyishly as possible, present as boyishly as possible, put on a distracting head covering. I
maybe
guess.
stand behind me.
Ooh, yes.
Be around Tessa.
Honestly,
you'll
yeah.
get all the buffs. You'll
As
get all
long
the
as
buffs
I
just
look-
stay around me.
That's right. As long as I look less interesting than Tessa, I think I'll be at least briefly in the clear.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I kind of stand out.
A radiant
Yeah.
fucking 7-foot huge tiefling, swole as fuck. You'll be fine.
I mean, it's going to draw other kinds of attention to our group in general.
Yeah,
Because I
you're,
imagine, like, the merfolk may not like doshi tieflings either,
again,
given the
it's,
history.
It's a reasonable concern.
yep. It would depend.
Kiki points out that, Nikki's distant relatives know what we all look like, or maybe not Allie. I think Allie's the only one because she was a fox.
She was a fox
most
when
of the
they
time.
visited.
Hmm,
She was peeing on some baggage.
Yep.
That's right.
as you do.
So Kiki thinks the rest of us should also do disguise. I'm just kidding. This could be a whole montage. Kiki's gonna look like a different Kenku. Yeah,
I wish I had the
it.
Sexonomicon right now.
Mhm.
I could change everybody's gender.
That would actually be it. Well, I don't know that there'd be a huge difference.
Not with Kiki.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Slightly
Okay.
broader shoulders, maybe, but like.
Kiki starts sketching out some ideas and then crosses them out. It's too go.
Yep. So you folks do up Nikki. You're heading to the Badger's Den then.
I think that seems like a good start.
Okay.
Yep.
So the Badgers, for reference for the audience, are a sort of, I call them the cartel, the mafia. They are a world-spanning criminal organization that mostly deals in the sex trade, along with a lot of other things. But they mostly run brothels around the world. If there is a big enough gathering of people, there is a Badger's Den somewhere. You head to the den.
Sorry, as a recovering Catholic, all I can think of is wherever 2 or 3 of you are gathered in my name, there are the Badgers.
As long as somebody wants to fuck, Badgers are there.
Wow. Wow.
You
I think that's some kind of advanced heresy, probably.
Probably.
That's like Little Nas X level.
You can no
heresy.
longer get excommunicated from the church and removed from the rolls by writing a letter requesting that your local archbishop actually take you off the rolls. So I'm going to commit as much heresy as possible and attempt to make him do it.
You folks head to the den, and this one is unlike the ones you're probably used to, because I'm sure Nikki has been to Badger's dens before. Most
We've all
of
been
you,
to one.
maybe except maybe Kiki.
We went to the one
You
of
know,
her to Snow.
Yeah,
Right, I'm
that's the
sorry.
one.
You went to the one of my
But in terms
apologies.
of people who have frequently been at them, it's probably Nikki and Allie about tied, then Tessa, then definitely Kiki way down there somewhere.
Yeah, Kiki has been to them as a location, maybe not for services. No, not for what they offer.
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. Unless, her mentor sent her with to deliver something to
Yeah,
her.
that's what I meant. Like, Kiki's been there to
Yeah.
has been there on business to fix things or make deliveries. The other three
That's
have
about it.
been have frequented the den for other things. This one is much smaller. This one is about the size, like a medium size, sort of a tavern, right? It's an inn of sorts. There is working rooms and then accommodation rooms is kind of how they put it. They have a sign out front, so people can sleep here like it was an inn. If someone probably doesn't on these longer haul ships doesn't want to stay on the ship, they want to sleep on a bed instead of a hammock or something. But certainly it is not as grandiose as the ones in Ventos or in certainly Anshin, or a lot of Doshinarol. But you do come in, you see the very typical guardians, the peacekeepers of the den, the sort of security. One is a very large Goliath. One, though, is a trident merfolk. And they look at you sort of suspiciously as they haven't seen you before, but then they notice Tessa's Aloran symbols, and they relax a bit and and they nod their heads to allow you to go in. Once inside, it is clean, well lit, cozy, and you are immediately approached by a number of the workers, casually trying to strike up conversations and see if you're here for. They refer to it as business and pleasure, as if those two things coincide regardless of what your intentions are.
I guess we kind of want to talk to the head badger.
That's true.
The Den Mother.
Yeah, the den mother.
Maybe the Den Mother, but we might want to talk to their intelligence gatherer.
Could be a good option.
Kiki's not very focused on the mission yet. She's kind of looking around, and she's wondering if any of Tessa's Gex gang have followed us. I know that we didn't consciously bring them, but I also could.
There's one I dump out a bag and one of them falls out.
Yeah.
Stow away.
So she's just sort of have any of them fall? She could just see that they would kind of Spridle and Chim Chim and
I was gonna say I see it right now.
Racer, yeah,
turn the bag over and shake, and Tick falls out. And you shake again, and Tact falls out on his head, and you look inside and give it a really big shake, and then Toe just lands on them both. They kind of tumble over.
No, that's when Tessa takes her boot off. She thinks she has a stone in it, and it's
Roll me a d20, Deb.
Oh god. Incoming 1. I rolled a 9. I'd like to roll above a 10.
Unfortunately, no geckos have followed you this day.
Sorry, guys.
I was just curious.
Not today.
You do request to see the Den Mother. The Den Mother comes out. The Den Mother is a human male, dressed very well, very bardic, very long. Think of hyped up Bollywood, with all lots of danglies, lots of very impressive silks and stuff. A little different from the kind of the sort of rough, ragged, northerny sailors that are around, but everyone seems to be down for it. And he walks over. He's got a necklace kind of running from his ear to his nose. He's very well done makeup, eyeliner, everything's on point. And he seems very happy as he goes, "Welcome, welcome. How can I help you find travelers?" "An Aloran," and he just beams when he sees Tessa.
Hello, friend. What's your name? I'm Tessa.
My name is Vest.
Oh, Vest, nice to meet you. We were wondering if maybe you could help us. We're new in town, and we need a little bit of information. We were hoping maybe you could help.
Sure. How can I help?
And Tessa kind of turns to Nikki.
I step out from behind Tessa like a kid, looking out from behind their mom.
So Vest kind of looks, and then you see him turn to a person in the corner, and the person is hooded, very trying to be not be seen. Looks over, and then goes into it, just leaves leaves where they are at the bar and just heads into a back room.
Would Allie pick that up with passive perception?
What's your passive perception?
23.
Nope. He critted. So this is for the viewer's knowledge, as this person moves around, and you definitely see him look at his direction, but there's a couple people in the corner. And the bartender immediately begins making drinks. This person moves off. None of you see that happen, though.
Okay.
Oh, hello. And what is your name, my good person?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. That's an interesting pronunciation.
Just Nicholas. Sorry.
Nicholas.
Yep.
Just Nicholas?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 names are overrated. I totally agree. It's much quicker.
That's right.
So, what can I help you with, Nicholas? Are you here you here for some companionship? And there's a very large Cheshire grin comes over his face. Because you seem to be well stocked as it is, as he looks around at your group.
Well, I mean, probably, but that's not really the actual reason that we're here.
Yes, but damn it.
Yes, but well, no, but actually, yes. More interested in looking for some information and some identity protection services.
Okay. These are things we can provide. You'll have to be honest with me, though, Nicholas. Come with me. And he just ushers you out of the public space into a bit more of a private room. A little bit larger might be his office, because there's definitely a desk and some chairs, and you can see there's 2 books that are sitting on the desk. One says, definitely give to Storm's Ire. The other one says, never give to Storm's Ire.
I noticed that, and I don't need to mention that to Lady Roscoe. We all know how bad her stints work.
Yeah, they're paying. It's just, so he brushes those underneath, a desk. He sits down. He offers you. Do you need tea, wine, drugs?
That's all right. Thank you.
Would you like some? Would you like some eel?
Is eel a popular dish in Ventos?
It is, but you don't think he's offering you food.
Oh. Well, Rob didn't pick that up at all.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited. I love you.
Is he offering his
I know.
dick?
I love it.
No.
Like Rob the food. I'm like, oh, big into
He's
that.
offered you tea and wine and
drugs and eel.
drugs
And his
eel.
dick?
No.
No. The eel is not his dick.
Okay.
I mean, it can be for the
then
right
I'm
price,
wrong.
but yeah.
I turn towards Tessa and look quizzical.
Allie messages you through the Slap chat. It's drugs.
Oh.
Oh. It's drugs.
Oh, it's drugs.
Yes, he says, as Tessa says it out loud. Would you like some?
For me.
Not at the moment, I suppose. More so. We have reason to believe that there's a hit taken out on me.
Oh dear. Why would someone
and
do
possibly
that?
my friends.
Who did you make angry?
Well, that's part of the information we're hoping to get. Do you know a Brush? What was their last name? I don't remember my old relative's last name.
Hold on. I will look it up.
I think I definitely have it. The Quillbacks.
Yes. So you say that name, his eyes roll immediately. He is not a fan of this gentleman, it would seem, even from like your
that's a
past
good sign.
perceptions. Yeah,
Very
he's
good sign.
not real thrilled about him.
Okay. I'm definitely a little bit leery about not, I don't want to overshare and play myself right into someone's hands, but at the same time, we have to trust somebody in town, and
Can I?
the Badgers are at least
before you do
consistently
anything?
untrustworthy.
Sure.
By all
Throw me-
means.
Yeah, inside check away, folks.
I'll say Brush Quillback, and then I'll look at y'all for
You could
validation, I guess.
you could trust them in as much as you can afford them. Is what I would say about Badgers.
Yeah.
What did you say? What was the roll, Kate? He got the same. You pick up from him that while he's much more put together about it, there's the same ugh sort of taste when you say that distaste. Yes, thank you. That you folks had when you met the three fuckwads.
Okay. Does he seem like a for the Badgers generally trustworthy individual in that he will act pretty much in financial interest, and then secondarily, if they don't like somebody, it will cost more money for them to work with that person?
Make a history check to see how much you know about their organization.
Also, would they try to double cross an Aloran paladin?
They would be less likely to try to double cross an Aloran. They generally hold a respect for Alora. If they respect anything, it's Alora.
$17.
Yeah, the first thing they value is what they refer to as their products, which are either the safety and well-being of their workers and whatever they're selling. So economic interests kind of come first. Then it's people they fucking hate and harming them. And then people they like and doing their best to help them, usually in that order. So if they don't like him, they will be more apt to harm him or assist in harming him.
Well, that's definitely a step in the right direction.
Unless he's given them a fuckload of money or something. There's some other situations such as that.
And that right there is my concern, because the Quellbacks are at least reasonably well off still. Even though I got the estate, they've got a fair bit.
Okay, that was my question, is are they just...
If you folks remember,
that they have money?
He is the most well off, because no one knows where he spends a lot of money, no one knows where it comes from.
Yeah. They were pretty rich. Which is part of why I made such a point to...
not share your finances.
Not share my finances, but also take care of their wait staff when they showed up. Nothing pisses off a rich person more than acknowledging that poor people exist.
But
what was the den guy's name again that I were talking to?
Vest.
Vest. Does he live here, or does he just frequently visit?
We don't let him stay unsupervised.
What did he do?
He broke one of the cardinal rules. Or he almost did.
Wait, did he hurt somebody?
Mm-hmm. He tried
Badger?
to. Are you familiar with the rules of the den?
I think Tessa would be, just because of her aunt.
Yes.
I feel like
But
Allie
Kiki's
and Nikki say yes at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Kiki's like, those rules on wall?
No, there are rules written on the wall. And first one is do not fuck with the product. That is the number one rule. There are about 5 of them. The number one rule is that, and it seems that what Ali, Nikki, and Tessa would probably realize is that there are sometimes gray areas where, two people have negotiated a thing and then it kind of gets out of whack, or, there's an area where it's an earnest mistake of a miscommunication. Then there's other areas where that's not the case. You're a piece of shit. They would also know that the Badgers have no qualms about, how to put this, if the mayor's son or daughter comes to the den and makes too many mistakes or tries to hurt one of their workers, they will deal with them regardless of their station. They might not, an average sailor they will probably beat the piss out of because they will get away with it. They will then get a little bit more creative if you think you're untouchable. They have a reputation of this, and they have specifically taken hits to that's one of the few times they will take hits to their purse to make sure everyone knows, no, you follow these rules. And it seems like from the way he's saying this, he tells you, Brush didn't. He came very close to breaking it. But, when it's hard to do that with a guardian's blade at your throat.
Oof.
I mean, he was already low, in my opinion, really low, but now it's just this fucker.
Mm-hmm. He's not a...
Well, slightly less of a fucker now.
Well,
Yeah, he
Wow.
Yeah. He will happily tell you that like brush is not allowed near any of the. The badgers refer to their workers as honeybees because they bring in the honey. Although he can, if he wants to come in and drink or gamble, that's fine. They will take his money. They absolutely will. But he is not really allowed near anybody without supervision.
The tables might be rigged a little more heavily in favor of the house when he's there.
They will blatantly cheat him if they can get away with it, but they don't cheat him too much that he either doesn't care or he hasn't figured it out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Kiki raises a hand. She was like, because she's down with like, so she's not super familiar with Badger's Den. She's like generally, and she's like, she sees rules on the wall. She's hearing about rules broken. She's hearing about Brush being like this real pain and a danger to Nikki, and she just goes, "How much to take out Brush?" She just asked it. She's like the shortest. She's like the shortest distance between 2 points. She's like, "How much?" She has no idea. She has no idea how much it costs to take out.
Let's see. And you hear
God, I love
she goes, theoretically, and then she wins.
Of course, dear
allegedly.
Kenku.
She's trying to be slick.
What is your name, my dear Kenku?
Oh, Kiki.
I like you, Kinky. Kiki. Kinky is
lots of K's. She got lots of K's.
Kinky might be your cousin, but who knows? Kinky, Kenku.
No, Kinky is Vest knows lots about Vest knows lots about Kinky, and it's definitely not this bird.
A very different bird. He whistles, and a hooded figure comes in. He asks the hooded figure, and the hooded figure hands Kiki what looks like a menu of ways that people could different packages, if you will. And it's all it's written in hyperbole, of course. It's not like this much to murder a man, because the Badgers can get away with it a lot, but in a very organized area like this, they can't. That's a bit blatant. But there is, like, do you want him to disappear? Do you want him to just go quickly
Swim
and quietly?
with the fishes.
Yeah. Do you want the merfolk to, him to go see the merfolk? Now, you don't know if that means they're going to kill and dump him in the ocean, or like a merfolk's going to come visit him and drag him to the deeps.
Tides Breach Grand Tour.
Yeah. There's also options for like temporarily gone and permanently, on vacation. Different hyperbole like that.
Stay.
Yeah.
Permanent relocation.
Granted early retirement.
Moving services.
So I have to ask, what is the reaction from the rest of the party? Because again, Kiki is true neutral. She's like, this guy has tried to not just hurt, but to kill my friend. And here we have a professional. To her, it's like going to a plumber when you have a leak. Like, she's just like, let's just see if it's in our budget. I mean, why DIY?
So Allie's gonna lean over to Kiki and say, "It's probably not in our budget. I was just planning to ask for information about having a strong conversation with him."
And
but
Vess will tell you, we have a
I appreciate your admission.
Payment plans. Do not worry, my dear. And he looks at you, tiefling, and there's sort of a question as if he's aware that you're not fully a tiefling. He doesn't know what. You're a little different, though. He's sort of aware of it.
I mean, literally half succubus, basically, but I'm not a tiefling.
You're not a tiefling. That's why he's aware that he calls you a tiefling, but there's something to his voice that makes it seem like he's aware you're not, like, he knows Tessa is a tiefling. You're different from Tessa.
Yep.
But he does tell you, yes, Nick, there are payment plans if you need it done on a schedule, and there's different options. You could finance it.
So Kiki's going to be like a person who's never been in a nice restaurant and look for the cheapest thing on the menu, because she actually is a person who's never been in a nice restaurant. So she's just looking at prices.
Looking for refill, like what comes with refills.
Yeah, like, so she's pretty much. She's like, I'll have a small coffee.
That's actually, yeah. What is the cheapest permanent?
The cheapest
permanent
solution.
The
cheapest option that Kiki finds is basically called a rough and tumble, which is where they'll go and they'll go have a visit, and they'll go intimidate the person. So this would be like, let's say, someone was bothering Allie's brother. They send that person a message saying, you need to stop this, or else don't do this anymore. And it's sort of a message like that. That's the cheapest thing. That's probably...
How much we talking? Yeah.
For that, there is a little thing that says, depending on this... A lot of it is also contingent on situation. Some things they seem to be is a little bit that you think from your friend's experience they'd be much more willing to do. For example, if there was a work-in person that was not in their organization but was getting harassed, that will be cheaper for them to go pay a visit to somebody and be like, you need to stop or we're gonna have a problem. For something like this, though, it would probably run about, for him, probably about 200 gold pieces for just to go and be like, heads up, this was going to happen. For the cheapest permanent option, you'd be looking at about 2,000 to 3,000 gold.
So
that's surprisingly not that bad.
They don't like him.
Keep in mind,
you're not asking them to off a beloved community priest. Like, that's harder.
He has no idea that we know anything at this point, Nick. It's good to know that we potentially have options down the line if we're unable to resolve this ourselves.
Yeah.
But I think we should at least have a go of resolving it ourselves.
Fair.
Kiki's about ready to put the menu down, but she looks at Tessa, and then she looks at him. She goes, "A Lauren discount?"
Huh.
Friends and family?
Have you ever worked for Dens before? He asked Tessa.
No.
Oh, well, my aunt did. She worked at the one Eventos for quite some time.
Who's your aunt?
Oh, she tells her, "Oh, her name's Neri Benkala."
His face.
Allie has been watching his face just for that moment.
Immediately going, your aunt is Neri Benkala.
Yeah.
Our aunt, actually.
Your aunt.
Yes. Yeah, we're cousins.
Your blood relations of the prophetess of Dosh Naral.
Yeah. My mom is her sister.
Huh. He says, sort of, for the first time, this, again, probably very smooth operator, is at a loss for words. Because, although he's intrigued, this is not something he was expecting to come into his town today. Huh. That would restructure the payments, he says.
Well, what about something in between? So if we just send him a warning, right? I got the impression from him that he's, based on that
I think
laugh,
he would
maybe,
escalate.
like, a little unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
So what if he was captured and brought to us and we could question him, turn him over to the authorities or something like that? Because we might want to get more info out of him as to what the rest of the family's doing too.
Sure, you would want the sleepover option, he says, pointing to Kiki's menu.
And may I recommend a nice white to pair it with? Yeah.
I do like white wine.
Tessa's like, ooh.
I'll tell you.
There's breakfast included.
Tessa.
Yeah.
Lady
over continental breakfast.
He's now searching for words to call you. He's like, Lady Benkala, he said. He's not sure how to address you.
Well, I'm not a lady. You can just call me Tessa.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Well, she's a lady, but she's not.
I'm not a lady with a capital L.
Yeah.
Could you get your aunt to come here?
I probably could, yeah, if she's not busy. Probably write her a letter or something.
Okay, I'll tell you what. And he leans back, and now his wheels are now turning in his mind. If you could get your aunt to come here and give us a bit of a blessing, help, really make it a landmark for the Free Peaks that the prophetess was here, at least amongst the Badgers. It'll
take a selfie.
Yeah.
Post it on the wall.
Signed portrait on the wall. Yeah, classic.
That would make my colleagues furious, he says, in a kind of like, he very happily to one-up them. That would put, Derek and his ire would be delicious. And he's just smiling. If you could get her and your uncle to come here just for a day, just to visit, I'm sure we could arrange a sleepover for your friend, at a very generous rate. I still have to pay, my workers. This can't be for free, obviously.
Of course.
But I think we could manage. Call it $450.
I looked to Nikki. I was like, "Well, this is your decision. So if you want to, handle it ourselves, that's cool. Or if you want to do this, up to you." I can contact my aunt right now. Actually, I forgot I had the necklace thing.
Kiki's counting out her share of the money, and her, just so you know, she's not usually. She's just like clink clink. Like she's. She'll respect Nikki's decision, but she's like ready to bitch in.
Oh, it's only ready, yeah.
I'm definitely gonna pitch
Nikki's
it
like,
too.
Kiki has like a checkbook out. She's like writing it in her like top inventory already of like spending money.
And Kiki does not like to part with coin, but she's like, oh, this is so efficient. Like, why?
Make it rain.
Honestly, yeah.
We need one of these at the manor. This is great. Like,
Oh my god, I want a Badger's Den at the manor.
There needs to be a Badger's Den in that vicinity, like when that town starts getting built up. Yeah.
What about Badger's Den Express?
We can get there.
Badger's Den Express.
Badger's Den to go. Yeah.
You can talk to Vest about it. He'd certainly be open to options.
It's like the airport terminal Badger's Den.
Yes.
No!
Yes.
Are you gonna ask him about this?
I'm too busy giggling. Actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea. If he's interested in like branch opportunities, we could make something happen there.
Oh, do you own a parcel of land, Nick?
I do, and that's kind of actually. Sorry, there's a lot of thoughts around that. Can you verify if there's an actual hit out on me currently?
Yeah.
We stopped one attempt, but
no, I'm going to be very honest with you, Nick. I have a feeling your name isn't Nick, is it? He rolled an insight check.
Obviously not.
You're the new Quellback, aren't you? By the way, he rolled a 19 on the dice for an insight check. Oof. With all the information you've been giving him, sort of second-handedly. You're the new heir from Ventos, aren't you?
Nick, I guess Nikki opens her mouth to like try to protest, and then it's just like, it's just a little nod and like does a little curtsy, like, yeah, you got me.
Okay. Oh, we've heard good things about you this far north. Mostly that you're not a dipshit like your kin. I'll tell you what.
Low bar.
Yeah, he tells you it's not a high bar, but you've cleared it, which is the important thing. I've had an idea for a while now, and I'd like to test it. Once your manor, your lands have some more people in them, if you don't mind. And he seems very excited about this.
Go on.
So, a lot of folks tend to live with a lot of family in very close quarters, right? Most people do.
True.
Coming to a den is a little intimidating for folks. They want a little more privacy, but they don't want to pay for a full night at an inn. So I had the idea to make an inn that couples can rent for a very short time to do couple things.
You're making a love hotel, aren't you, Scoot?
Yes, I am.
I knew it.
So, like hourly rates instead of daily?
Yes.
Seems fairly reasonable, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I was glancing over it. There's like a side channel for like meme chat and stuff. And Randall has pointed out that we could have the Gex gang provide security for the new Love Hotel, and I can't think of anything more awful, but in the best way. I love that.
Not only security, you could see them running around in little waiter outfits and stuff. I mean,
Ah!
it's got potential. That's all I'm saying.
There's something there. There's something there.
Now, of course, this would be something to do in time.
You
Lady
need it now.
Quillback.
Yeah, quite frankly, I don't think currently we have the population to support a continuous
Influx
Income
of
stream.
customers. Yes.
income stream is what I was looking for, but my brain I was like in flow. Anyways. But I think there definitely could be a market there. We are looking to expand, not in a warring sort of way, just like we brought in a new smith and we've got some new developments on the way. I'll keep you posted.
Mining operations.
Yeah, we're starting up some Bitcoin.
I don't know what that is, he says.
Kiki's like
Very
very
small
small
coins.
coin.
In stereo.
Randall, this is my friend.
Perfect.
Oh boy. I think we can do business, Lady Quillback. So I'll tell you what. So the visit, the founding of this relationship, and is a sign of goodwill. I'll knock 50 gold off the price for the sleepover.
Yeah. I think you've got yourself a deal. And I turn to Tessa. Not just because I deeply trust your opinion here, but also because I have a whopping 290 gold pieces to my name at the moment.
We'll certainly help. And she does. She touches the necklace that she just got from her uncle, and will pass along the message to her aunt and uncle to ask them to come up here as a favor to help with Nikki's safety.
They will receive it. Your uncle will message back. So we're touring now, is what you're saying.
I mean, maybe.
Let me ask your aunt. He asks his wife, how would Neri feel about this, Deb?
Oh, if it was for Tessa's friend to be safe, and she would absolutely do it. Yeah, she wouldn't hesitate.
Okay. We'll be there, he tells Tessa.
And she kind of like puts the necklace down. She's like, okay, they'll be here.
Glorious.
Kind of like she just pulled out her cell phone.
Quick call. Glorious, he says. So we just need that payment, and about 2 days. On the evening of the third day, return to the den.
Third day. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Cool. So what is the total come out to now? 400?
So it's 400, so that would in theory be 100 gold from each of you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an easy decision.
Allie's just excited that she can actually afford that for once.
I'll take it. Thank you guys.
In the course of her travels, part of the reason Allie's become familiar with Badger's Den is because, like, when they've needed, extra hands to go rough up somebody who's being a dick, she's hired out to do that, basically, and that's occasionally pays for her to visit the Badger's Dens.
It's full circle.
Cycle it right back around, yeah.
Does she just get, like, vouchers?
It's the circle of thighs. So now that
really
the
good.
business is completed, Vest will look at the rest of you. So can I interest anyone in any other services? And he smiles.
Yes.
Wonderful. So that's,
Nikki takes off her business face.
so that's 1, and he gestures to the rest of you. 2.
I'll pass.
Fair enough. Randall, you're muted.
Right.
Sorry. Kiki will cock her head to the side. She's like, what What's eel do? She thinks it's a specific drug. I don't know if it's code for all drugs or just.
Oh no, it's a specific drug. He tells you.
What's eel do?
Oh, well, it is a sort of stimulant, if you will. It affects everyone a little bit differently, but it does sort of hardwire you to give you about 3 hours of energy and a sort of high.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-hour energy drink called eel. So.
No. This is like an 8-ball that will last for 3 hours.
Oh. Kaylee's vaguely intrigued. She'll be like, have anything make smart? Then she thinks about herself. She's like, smarter? Because she's like already, like, she's curious if anything will temporarily like jack your condition up. She's not hardcore looking for it. She's just curious.
Right. So he doesn't know if he has anything that'll make you. He doesn't have anything on hand that'll make you smarter. Although there are things that would up your perception, or he does tell you he has things that might change your perception of the world.
Say more. She's intrigued. Sorry, I'm making you riff in real time.
No, it's okay. The glory of being a rehab counselor. So,
well, also you. Oh, that's also true.
Yep.
I'm like, you also had a whole menu of like options for whacking people in your head already.
Mm-hmm. It's not the first time I've run the Badgers. So
That's
he offers
true.
you. He tells you he's gotten some stuff from the Merfolk. So he basically says they've provided him with. He refers to it as like liquid drinks that will let you basically. It magically changes your perception to see things that are not normally within your bounds to see. So he goes, on a human, you will be able to see colors that our eyes can't normally process. You'll be able to experience things that will heighten your sensory. It can also dim.
Be a mantis shrimp.
Yes.
Color than humans. Yeah. Look, it's from the Merfolk. I'm absolutely assuming this is going to let you see things like a mantis shrimp does. Okay.
No.
Wow.
I can see into the ether.
And he goes, there are some things that'll let you see into the astral sea.
Well, that could be horrifying or very beautiful, depending on where you go.
It is a bit of a roll of the dice, he says.
Kiki's like, no, thanks, no thanks. Because, like, as much as Kiki would, like, if she could jack her intelligence or change perception and something like help with creativity, fine. But she's a logical kind of girl. And if you're like, oh, it's a roll of the dice, she's like, no. Like,
no, that's fair.
She wants guaranteed. She wants.
How much does a dose of eel cost?
About 5 gold.
Okay. I'll get a dose, but not for me. I want to have it to give to Kiki back at the manor for like a late night inventing sesh or something.
Oh dear.
So he will it is it's a powder that he gives you in a little cuppy. He tells you it's made from a certain kind of eel in the depths. But yeah, here, he sells it to you. He goes, I wouldn't let the guards know you have that, though.
Allie will also purchase 2 doses of eel.
Mm-hmm. Selling drugs to my players.
And seeing it, kind of riffing off a little bit of what Nick said, we'll say for late night inventing sessions.
Or fucking. Yeah, a lot of the people around here use it for that, he says, very deadpan.
I was thinking more new rope stuff. But fucking too, why not? That does remind me. If I'm going to be potentially with one of your honeybees, you do in fact need to know, and she'll turn the glamour off.
I had he sort of looks at you and he taps one of the chains that's coming from his ear kind of towards his face, and he goes, I had a feeling something was up, and you see it shifts from the gold to a silver.
Is it basically like it's detecting somebody's hiding something kind of deal?
Yeah, it couldn't see you, but it knows somebody is glamored or disguised via magic. It's sort of like Sting, where it tells you somebody is doing this, but he didn't know who.
Yeah. I don't pull energy without permission, but if you have anyone who is experienced in that, I'd be delighted.
Is there a
If
preference
not,
of?
I'm more than happy
Is
to
there a
leave that off.
preference of gender?
No.
Okay. No, we've had some more of your kit kind since Doge settled down. So we do have some folks that are willing and eager.
More than happy to assist with training.
Yes, I would recommend top, bottom. What are you looking for?
Hmm.
And also, do you like to be in charge or to have someone else in charge?
But for today, at least, I'd very much prefer to be in charge.
Okay. And then the previous question?
Surprise me.
Okay. You'll want David then. He whistles, and you see a shockingly svelte gnome come in. Don't let the size fool you.
Oh my god, he's got a
Never about
kickstand, doesn't he?
He couldn't care less. Randall is so into this right now. I'm like, yeah.
And David is he's cordial. He's very nice. He takes you through the paces that you're kind of used to, but he seems very intrigued. It seems as if he's done this before, but has not had a chance to do it in a while.
Okay. Will I end up being able to pull energy from this?
Oh yeah, David is very willing.
Excellent. Because this is how I get more tails.
Robert, are you looking for anything in particular, or just sort of?
Nikki's like, wow, that was really specific preferences. Someone cute?
Does it matter if the other, so their category, gender?
No pants.
Well, we'll get there,
I
Kiki.
picture
Don't
Kiki
worry.
actually saying "no pants" out loud. Like I don't think that was just
Oh,
Randall saying
probably.
that. I think Kiki said "no pants" as a preference.
Oh, we'll get there, Kiki. Don't worry. Let's get a guy today.
Okay. You'll want Vol then.
Sounds
A
great.
very large Goliath comes in and just
Ooh.
sort of picks Nikki up very gently, but just sort of like scoops you and walks you to a room. Or
Nice.
carries you, I should say, because you are very, very light in his arms. He's a big,
Nice.
swole boy.
I'm into it. All right. Pan to Rose.
Pan to Rose, pan to
All
windows.
two of us are indisposed.
Yeah.
I was also going to buy some drugs, but for later, not for now.
What kind of
It's
drugs
curious.
would you like?
The eel thing. It
I
seemed.
would like to buy one drug, please.
I'm going to
I
say.
would
I'm
like,
going to do the
I would
same
like
thing.
a drug.
Hello
just gonna
and
save it for
drugs.
I'm curious.
Thrax buys the color one. He's very intrigued by that.
What's the color one?
So it modifies your perception, and
Oh,
for a
okay.
temporary time it would allow you to see things that you may not normally
Right,
be
right,
able to
okay.
see or experience.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy the eel one then.
Okay. He does
That's
buy.
it.
He buys a very low grade weed, and he just kind of looks at Bosco and snickers.
Nice.
Do you really want Bosco to be even more hungry?
Why don't you at least spring for the good stuff?
Can he have it? Thrax asks. Like he doesn't.
Bosco?
Yeah.
That's actually well. So funny story about Yoshi being high for later. They can get a little high.
Yeah. I mean,
IRL, okay.
well, I've seen gifs
Apparently-
online of like a dog that's like eating weed brownies. They're like, we need to get you to a vet, not necessarily for the weed,
Well, no,
but for the
we
brownies.
used to take Yoshi to like a dog daycare, and all they did was smoke all day.
Mm.
And he got used to the smell. So anytime we're walking and that like weed smell, he like bolts in that direction. He's like, I want to get high.
Oh my god, he's like a drug sniffing dog now. Like,
Kind of, actually, yeah. He'll hone in on that.
So actually, the reason for that is dogs have more cannabinoid receptors in their brains, so like a smaller dose can be toxic to them. But he probably was in fact getting a contact high from just like being around the
Yeah,
smoke.
no, I wouldn't say like have them eat it, but like He's
he's getting a lower dosage because he just doesn't know what it's gonna. Bosco has never done this before. He doesn't want to murder his Fey Mount dog.
Oh, I thought that by that look, I thought I was under the assumption that they had done this before.
No, he's just gonna see what happens.
Oh,
this is an experiment.
I am a healer. So.
Yeah, just in case. You got a revivify, right?
I can get rid of poisoning.
I can cure the poisoned condition.
I can also cure poison. So.
Kiki, you're gonna have probably 3 hours to kill while everyone else is running around you and Tessa. Like, the drug transaction happens very quickly. So, is there anything you two would like to do while your party mates are indisposed?
At the den?
Anywhere in the town. You can leave the den if you'd like.
I think Kiki will just be like, and she'll just like load up on coffee at the bar and sketch out ideas in her notebook. She doesn't want to wander too far with her friends, like for her friends, like in a new town. She's curious, but she's got some things on her mind, so she's gonna like sketch out some ideas to like upgrade Pinion or something, like, you know. She's just gonna be like, she'll just have like some coffee shop time, but get really like, I'll just talk about yield. She's like, I could get that with espresso. So she
fair enough.
I'm sure she is continuing to try and solve the puzzle of not getting Pinion to default back to Wow Bow.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah,
the permanent problem.
That's right. Wow Bow. Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, so she'll work on stuff like that, or fiddle around with her puzzle.
Yeah.
She's easily entertained.
Time passes. You folks will actually, Kiki, make me an intelligence check for the puzzle box.
Oh, okay.
What does Kiki find?
Woo, Chris.
Oh.
Ooh.
Out comes a...
The ooze, unsurprisingly. We're for a nat 20.
Yes. You're doing it, you're moving it around, you hear a click. One of the panels opens very briefly and out slides this long white mineral. Not quite it's sort of a crystal-esque, but it's not clear. Yeah.
Okay. It's like a solid.
It's
not like a mineral, like a powder.
No, it's a solid like rock. It's white. It's kind of powdery. Like, just has that appearance.
Yeah.
And it's shaped like a gemstone, where it's kind of like it's octagonal in the middle, and then comes to 2 points.
Okay.
So it looks cut. It's not like obviously straight from the earth.
She'll kind of hold it up to the light and just sort of, I don't know, investigate a little or see if anything she can discern anything about it.
Yep. So as you hold up to light, a breeze hits your face.
It's very refreshing.
From the mineral.
Oh.
From the mineral.
She'll say something. She'll say hello to the crystal in Orin.
Nothing.
Like, hello? Hi. Okay. She'll blow against the crystal.
Nothing.
So it seems to respond to the light, huh?
Mm-hmm.
She'll wander outside to see if the brighter light.
As you hold it up to the sun, you were hit by a fairly steady wind. Not enough to like put you on your butt or anything, but you are getting hit by. It seems the more light that's directed at the crystal from one end, more air energy comes out of the other.
She goes back inside and immediately starts sketching some sort of lantern or something where she can like put the crystal in front, or like, you know, a torch in the British sense of like a flashlight or something like that. She starts sketching things about how she might be able to work with that.
Yeah. Some time passes and your friends rejoin you. They have finished their various businesses.
Kiki's so absorbed she doesn't notice unless they say something.
Tessa, did you want to do the drugs now or later?
I picture like while Kiki was doing her thing and then kind of just waiting around the Badgers, that her and Thrax and Bosco are sitting around this low grade weed, like wondering what to do with it, like people that have never seen it before, but eventually like smoke it. But how would that affect her? Like, do you want me to roll like a con check or something?
Yeah, roll a con save, see what happens.
I crit. Of all the
Nice.
things to
You're
crit on,
fine.
Wow.
Nothing happens to you.
my weed check.
Yeah, Thrax gets a
I was like, fuck, I did it wrong.
Thrax
Yeah,
gets
I
a
know. I'm like,
19.
what? I don't feel anything.
Thrax gets a 19, and he's like, I'm fine. I don't feel anything. And then you just see Bosco is just like a statue, just standing there staring at the table. Just like kind of. Have you ever seen, again, you've seen those gifs of like dogs high, they're just like, ha, 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 and they're just sort of just kind of existing and enjoying everything. Like, that's how Bosco is. And like, Thrax pushes him and he just sort of falls over.
I give him some of my like dried meats that I have in my bag because he's probably gonna be hungry.
Yeah, he's just, this is the slowest you've ever seen Bosco eat anything.
Does he look like he's okay?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
does he
he's
look
okay.
like-
He's okay. It's just like we're gonna make sure we give you food and water because you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not do well on his contract. He got a 3, so he's pretty high. But this will be over soon.
Honestly, a little disappointed. Did you buy dogweed?
I guess. I don't know. I didn't know they sell dogweed.
Well, I guess they do. I guess that's a thing.
Do we get more?
Yeah, I feel like they have no clue.
Yeah, he has no idea. This is drugs.
Kind of looking at Boss. Does he look like he's having a good time? Should we buy more for later?
He's now just sort of like staring at the ceiling, and he's gone from like the sort of like happy to like he's very clearly contemplating his life.
All right, well, let's skip on buying more for now and just see how this plays out.
Yeah. So then he turns on his collar and just starts floating, but he's like on his he was laying on his back, now he's just kind of floating in the air on his back. And Thrax just
Kind of like push him.
yeah, you at this point you and Thrax are kind of pushing him back and forth like a balloon in the room, just and he is not moving. But Nikki,
I imagine like everybody else walks in.
yeah, so Nikki, you and Ali finish up your business, and you come out and you just see Bosco being floated between, and like Tessa and Thrax are like getting further and further apart to see how far the momentum will take the dog.
I'll do like the hands, like you walk up to a couple of dudes like throwing a football around in the park. You're like, yo, hit me.
Yeah.
Yes.
The dog floats over to you.
Give him a good head scritchy, float him back to Tessa.
Just keep going in a circle. Give him belly scritches. Imagine he's upside down.
At one point, he just starts spinning on his own, like of the momentum.
Well, this might not be good. No vomit. Throw up.
It's like you ever see now, and eventually it just ends up being like the gif of dog in space. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, he's just sort of floating, like half cocked. Allie, you come out in time to see that, him just sort of space floating around. You're not really sure why the dog is doing this or how the dog is doing this.
The dog seems fine.
Yep.
The dog is not unhappy about the situation, so.
Okay, so do you folks want to do anything else in the town, or do you want to fast forward to your sleepover?
I want to do things in the town, but I think it's probably a better idea to stay on the DL until we have our sleepover.
Okay, so you strike up at one of the local like housing places. There is an inn. It's a little bit nicer. You pay for the nights. You spend the next day or two kind of moving around the town, seeing what's up, meeting some of the people. The night, but again, keeping a very low profile. Although Thrax on the halfway through the first day does go back to the den and gets more weed for Bosco. As you do. But this time,
they're like his Scooby snack.
Oh, this
Scooby snack.
This time it works on Thrax, and he just sort of like he and Bosco are just sort of sitting on a cushion, just staring at the hearth, at the fire.
Why do I picture both of them just lazily like eating dog biscuits? Like,
They're just regular dog biscuits, but they're both.
Yeah, no, straight up. They got the munchies. They don't care.
They're fine. But the night of the sleepover does come, and you return to the den, and Vest is there to greet you as he personally ushers you in. You go to a different place now as he takes you down a door that you had not seen before. You actually go through one of the working gal's rooms. You go through a little storm cellar. And down there is a gentleman tied to a chair with a hood over their head.
Allie's going to pop down into fox form.
You go.
By the way, were we going to come up with any strategy for the
Oh,
session, or Nikki?
Right, we
just
probably
gonna...
should have had a plan.
Or Nikki? I mean, we've had like a day or two. Like, we just
Sure, you can do that now if you would like.
It's up to you.
While the
Nikki,
rest of
it's
us
your-
were getting high
That-
and having sex.
Kiki's like, ooh, what if we thought about what we were going to do?
Like, I am thinking about what I'm going to do. Who I'm going to
That's-
do.
Well, we should
Who, I
probably
was gonna-
figure out what his motivation is. Like, does he think that by killing you, he's going to inherit the state? Or was
Right.
he doing this just to be crazy? Doing this to get back at somebody else? Like,
Does he think he's going to get something out of it?
Right.
Kiki will also plant the idea with you, Nikki. It's iffy one, but like, what if you plan the idea with each of the main relatives that you have written one of the other relatives in to your will, and that they'll take each other out? This is she's gonna just plant the seed.
That's not a bad
devious.
idea.
But she's
I was
like,
kind of thinking also I could be like, Dana tipped me off or something like that.
that's not bad.
I'm here
Because,
for
like,
devious
so-
Kiki.
Yeah, like Kiki's just like, turn these fools against each other, because
Yeah.
so in one sense, because originally Kiki had thought this, like the last session or session before, she thought like, oh, like you should designate who's going to receive your fortune or whatever, and then be
Mhm.
like, well, haha, it's not going to go to you, and then that person though would become a target as well. So if it happens, like if is it like three? I think there's three main
There's three of them, yeah.
relatives. Yeah, like if you each pit them against each other, Kiki draws a diagram for you. Like,
Well, thank you, Kiki.
she's definitely like, it's got little knives, right? Like it's
Ah,
got little
yes.
like daggers, and like she's like,
Nikki
yeah,
is
I understand.
extremely attentive, not because she needs the diagram to figure out how triangles work, but because Kiki's diagrams are always adorable.
Yeah, Kiki's got a little.
They're
too
always
far,
like
'cause
so detailed and like
she's got like physics equations, like applied force. It doesn't apply to the situation, but she's trying to help you.
she's
Like,
in the
trying to
groove.
help
She's
her
just doing the
back.
aesthetic. Yeah.
There's a picture of an anvil being pulled up on a pulley and a rope and a piano. Like she's got plans. Very wily coyote.
Trebuchet.
Yes.
Just entranced.
There's
Yeah.
a piano about to be hauled over by a trebuchet. Like she's willing to like combine, but she leaves it up to you.
I definitely love the idea of pitting them against each other. Like on a personal, like I don't know whether I like telling him that like Dana tipped me off, that like that he put out the hit, or if I like better that like you were saying, like, oh, like you tried to kill me, so I've written Dana into the will instead, something like that.
Guess what? You could do both.
I could
Dana
do
tipped me off, but it was really unfortunate for you both because I wrote so and so in. Like,
Like, I've been
like,
spending a
just-
lot of time with Dana lately.
You could just.
She
I
didn't
mean,
put
just
a hit out on me.
yeah.
Okay, but I don't know that is the thing. She might have.
That's also true.
Yeah, that.
We also don't know how much they're communicating with each other.
Right.
also true.
Yeah, there's some risk there for sure.
But you could also be like, you could just be like, well, I kind of feel like I owe Dana now since she tipped me off. I don't know. So she's right now. I'm thinking, whatever.
I suppose
also
you could just ask him if he was.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, zone of truth.
Yeah, he has to. If he's going to answer it, at least
If
has
he's
to be
gonna answer.
truthful.
With the badgers breathing down his neck, he might.
He might. Yeah.
He also
No,
might
for
be
sure.
crazy. Like, remember how he was last time? He's
Yeah, he might just be like happy to talk,
We could also
or be
threaten-
completely unintelligible.
We could also threaten to have a fox pee on his clothes. Like, I don't know if that's.
You could pee on his shoes like while he's in the chair.
I can indeed do that.
Okay. I think I like okay. I think I have a plan for how to work in Dana. I think I can go like so like I thought you guys were working together, so it's weird that Dana wanted to warn me that you hired an assassin. Because then if they are working together, like that doesn't make him go like, that's just bullshit, you know. It's like it's plausible no matter how much he's working with Dana. From 0 to lots. So I think that's good.
So I'd say lead with questions first, but have your deviousness on the back burner.
Seems
Because then
good.
you know what I mean. Because you don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah. He might just tell us everything we need to know right off the bat. You know, this is perfect.
Tell us everything you need to know. Or we need to know.
Yeah, there we go.
So that's everything.
The only question we need.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. That seems good. Is there anything we want to like tell him, you know, do this or else we'll, I don't know, go buy the extended package?
I would be vague about consequences. I would be. You can be menacing but vague, like just like, oh, you know, I just don't have. I would play it cool. I just don't have time for these games.
Sure.
Like this is like this, but don't like just let his imagination go wild. Is my
Sure. Another possibility that I just thought of. What if y'all ran it? And
What if you did all the work?
no, hear me out. Played it off like the hit succeeded and you were like trying to get revenge.
Huh.
So that he thinks he succeeded. Maybe he's more liable to monologue.
What if you polymorphed into something and were like in there with us?
Ooh, yeah, it definitely could be.
Like an animal that would have some intelligence but small.
Yeah.
Not an octopus.
I could do. Could I do like the same kind of fox that Allie is? Just be like, yeah, there's 2 foxes now. What the fuck are you gonna do about it, Brush?
We got 2 foxes. Fuck you. You would be you could be the same type of fox. It would just be a different coloring of the fur.
Sure.
Yeah. You also, so Allie is still her when in fox form. Like her intelligence is not fox intelligence.
Yeah, I
Her
would be an
intelligence is
actual fox.
intelligence.
Yeah. Which
Foxes
I'm
are
not
kinda
sure.
smart.
Not sure if it's a great idea. I think foxes are smart. I think part of what I was thinking is like maybe if there was another fox just like sitting there calmly watching the proceedings,
Yes.
maybe I would be able to like
keep you in line as another fox.
yeah, like take cues from that, be like, I don't know where I am or what's going on, but this fox is just chilling, so like I'll just fucking sit here, I guess.
Just picturing like the middle of this very
invisibility.
this intensive investigation
do
with like
I?
Tessa like grilling him, and then there's just 2 foxes in the
No.
corner like meh, 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 just screeching at
Oh,
each
yes, I do.
other.
I just can't
You can
read.
always just go invisible too.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea.
What does the fox say?
Yeah.
Weird ass fucking
Oh,
noises
no.
we've been through this.
No.
Maybe we can annoy him so much that he just doesn't want to be in the room anymore.
I'll tell you anything. Stop singing that song.
Stop the fox noises.
So
Okay.
I vote that we question him, open-ended stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
I am whatever, Nikki. It's your call about whether we're, you know, glossing over the fact that you're still alive or something like that, or like that. I think that is a decision point to make, but I would give away as little as possible and
Mhm. At least
maybe
to
not
start with.
answer, and then figure out: are we going to go in that route, or are we going to go with this?
Yeah.
the
Okay,
vice
so let's
versa?
start with that then. Let's start as if I'm dead. And then if we need to, I can dramatically drop invisibility and, you know, reports of my death were greatly exaggerated.
Mhm.
Do you want me to interrogate him?
I
We're gonna
would
say who's-
love
you're
for
probably
you
the most
to interrogate him.
Yeah, I feel like our best bet is you for the intimidation factor, Kiki for any lies that need to be told, and I will be monitoring and telling you through Slap Chat if there's any falsehoods. If we don't put up Zone of Truth, which would obviously tell you.
We
I
can
don't
throw it up as
see
precaution.
any reason not to. Yeah.
He'll know he's under it though, but
That is the only reason not to.
yeah.
So let's leave
He's
that
also
down
been
for
taken
now.
captive by the
Ellie-
mafia. I think he knows something's up. Like,
Well,
That's what I mean, yeah.
yeah, but knowing that you will 100% be found out if you tell a lie does perhaps change what he would say.
that is true.
But we
Let's
leave
leave it
Zone of
down for
Truth
now.
down for now, and we put it up if we need to.
Yeah. That's...
Seems good.
So
All
Tessa,
right.
do you feel you know the questions, and also Nikki could feed them to you through?
So what I was gonna do is like I was gonna kind of go in a little rough, like, you know, why did you put the hit out on my friend? Do you have any idea how upset I was? You know, I want to
Good.
make it sound like I'm like you are dead, but
Yeah.
enough wiggle room that you could be alive.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Know that.
Leave him a
Like-
little bit like uncertain, a little shaky.
Right. So what questions do we want to ask? Like, what specifically? What do we want to ask him?
Yeah. Like what he hopes
Why
to
did-
gain from it.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
did you put the hit out? Like, why do you want Nikki dead? If he's like to kill her, then it's like, yeah, no shit. You
The
did.
follow-up
Yeah.
question is
What
like,
you
if he
gave her.
thinks Nikki's dead, then who would get the money in that case? Like,
Yeah, what does he think my current like will situation is?
But let's get the
estate
why
situation.
first, and then
Why first?
you
Yes.
can. But yeah. Do you want to plant the seed that someone else was named in the well? I definitely like the tip off, but that's like, but then that implies that you're still alive. So you know, like we found out. You're gonna be like, we found out like too late. Go that route, but I don't want to get too complicated.
Yeah.
so why the hit on Nikki? What do you hope to gain?
Is there anyone that he's working with besides the other shitty callbacks?
Is he working with them? Because we don't even know, right?
Yeah.
In
Is he
addition to
actually working
others,
with the
yeah.
other shitty quillbacks? And that, depending on how it's going, could be a good place to be like, because one of them tipped us off, bitch. Which isn't true, but it could fuck him up. And then, yeah, if there's like are they working solely for their own benefit, or has somebody convinced them that it's a good idea to, so if like someone told them that they would get the estate if I died, but they never bothered to verify it, or like they want to get it, and is there anyone else pulling strings or anyone else involved, or is it just Quillbacks beat Quillbacks?
Why hit Nikki? What do you hope to gain? Are you working with anybody, any of the other Quillbacks? Is it solely for your own benefit? Is anyone strings? And then
we
you
can
guys
feed
can
you-
always feed me questions
That's
too
right.
via the Slack
Yeah.
chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I want to put on my game face. I'm
Mhm.
gonna try not to
Tessa's
laugh
got one
out.
hell of a game face.
So Tessa rocks in. You all follow with Nikki under invisibility. There are two what are referred to as honey badgers, who are sort of the roguish element of this organization, and they pull back the hood, and you see they've roughed Brash up a little bit. One eye is swollen shut, so he does kind of squint. The other one sees Tessa, sees Kiki, sees Allie and Fox for him, and looks at the Fox and just goes, "Ha, Fox."
But did he go, ha fuck?
No, he said Fox. Fox.
Oh, Fox!
Yeah.
Okay. Not as exciting.
No.
So I'm gonna do that thing where I take like a chair, turn it around the wrong way, and sit on it. My arms like this
Mhm.
in front of him. Like, do you remember me?
Classic.
He leans in, because he's tied to the chair, so he kind of leans in and goes, "Ha."
Do you know why
Uh-oh.
I'm here?
Laugh once for yes, twice for no. Kiki doesn't say that.
Kiki thinks it very loud.
She does.
And he looks at you and goes, "Nah."
Ooh.
No idea, really.
He shakes his head no.
I guess I'm gonna continually be doing insight checks to see if he's telling the truth or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, give me an
You
insight
give me
check.
like little pings on the Slap chat, like what you're picking up from him.
Hey, Scoot.
Fuck you.
Does
I mean, he's
Say it with me, gang. It's a nat 20.
Right.
he really have no idea why he's here?
lying.
I thought he might be. Allie communicates this through the Slap chat.
And I kind of look at him and I give him kind of like an intimidating smile and said, "Would you like me to jog your memory?"
He.
Visic, jog his memory.
He will see if he makes a good decision. He does not make a good decision, and he just looks at you. He's like through the one good eye, and he, as much as he can with his body language test, just squares up to you and just goes, "Try it, bruh."
So she takes a deep breath and she just dives right in. She's like, "Why the hit on Nikki Doxborn? Enough games. I don't have time for this."
He sits there and smiles at you until Thrax comes from behind with his bow, like his bow, and just cracks him on his head. And he's just like, "Ah, bruh,
Not cool, bruh.
Like he sounds like a surfer.
And he coughs a little bit. His bell has been rung by that, and he just sort of looks back at Thrax, and Thrax is like, "Nah, we're done with this." He's like, "She was too good for this world, bruh."
What is that supposed to mean?
What do you think it means?
I mean, what? Why? Why did you? So she's a little thrown by that question because it kind of seems to imply like he did it for Nikki's benefit, which is kind of odd. Wait, let me get this straight. You thought Nikki was too good for this world, so you thought that you would take her out of that to no gain to yourself.
She's too good to be in this family.
Oh, so it was supposed to be a courtesy.
And he goes, "Bruh," and he nods his head and very seriously nods his head.
Does Allie think that is the truth?
Make an insight check.
13.
I'll throw in an insight check as well.
Okay.
21 unnatural.
Nice.
He believes what he's saying.
And I don't think you can comprehend how upset I am right now about this. That you would take this liberty to end somebody's life. What are you gaining out of them? Why do you care?
It's one life, bruh, for many lives.
And what does that mean? Do we have to hit you over the head again for you to stop being so fucking vague?
And he thinks for a long time and he goes, You don't know what's in that mountain by her property.
Rocks?
That leads down to the deeps, bruh.
Yeah, most mountains do.
It leads to the chained one.
Yeah, go on.
Torg, bruh.
Torg. Like,
Is that a name
God.
that rings any bells?
Make a religion check, folks.
Is
I
that
know who it is. I guess
Yeah.
Tessa's
is that
not.
first? Is that first name Torg, second name Bra? Is that
Torg, bruh.
Torgra.
10 for Allie.
21 from me.
Oops. Helps if I roll
Helps if you were looking for a 21.
19.
So Nikki and Kiki, you both know that Torg is the god of chains and jailers and the Underdark. He supposedly resides in the Underdark. He is not a nice god.
Kiki will suggest, well, to the group, she'll just be like, why the fuck would it make a difference if Nikki is alive or dead? Like, I don't, like, in other words, like, what does that have to do with some god deep down under something?
I'm gonna slap chat. Is he a like follower of Torg?
So I'm assuming.
Do you
that, like,
have to be shitty to keep Torg chained?
So, and I turned to Brush. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're trying to tell me that the god of chains, prisoners, is living in the Underdark under that mountain? Well,
Nah, bruh. It's the way to bring him back onto the plane, bruh.
what does Nikki have anything to do with that?
He remains silent.
What was that? I didn't quite get that, and I kind of do signal over to Thrax to kind of get his bow ready to knock him over the head.
He pulls it out again. He just sits there staring at you with his one good eye.
So you think that Nikki would be responsible bringing a god onto this realm? Why does that even matter? Why would he want to come plane? Is he living in the astral sea somewhere?
All gods do, bruh. We're their resource, man. We're their money.
Okay, but you still didn't answer the question of why killing Nikki stops this from happening. Okay, yeah. You put a hit on Nikki. Well, what if somebody else, goes in there and does whatever you think that she was going to do?
Nah, man. It was supposed to come to me and the Sibs. And, Grandma didn't, Great Aunt didn't, it didn't go like it was supposed to. We think she was compromised. I would like all of you to make insight checks.
Can I? Okay, this might answer my question, so I'll just wait.
Okay. Got a 15 from Tessa. A
15 as well.
15 from Kiki.
Okay. You two think that he really, really believes this. However, it runs counter to what you know is under that mountain.
Right. We know that there is, a literal temple of Fran sheep underneath that mountain.
Mm-hmm. But as far as you can tell, he genuinely believes this.
So maybe it was told to keep these fuckwads away from, to protect Fran Sheep's old temple or something like that. Maybe it was like a family story, oh god, please don't let these shitheads.
Allie slapchats Tessa and suggests that she ask, how do you know that the way to bring Torg back is under that mountain?
I'll pretty much say that word for word.
Okay. He goes, more people equal more chains. And he's dead ass just serious about that.
Who told
Doesn't
you
make
this?
sense.
We're trying to find out how he knows that that's
How
what
are
I
you
want.
so sure that that's what's down there? What's
A
going to
mysterious figure called QAnon told me that Torg was
The Q shaman spoke to me. Yeah.
Yeah, the Q shaman was a bullywug, so you knew it was on the up and up.
Oh, God.
No, you can't trust the bullywogs. The waters turned them all gay.
Oh no.
And he looks at you and he's just like, Dana knows.
Wait, so you're telling me your totally unreliable sister, the narcissistic one, told you this, and you just straight up believed her and decided to kill an innocent person?
Yeah.
I punch him in the face.
Yeah, you
Sure
rock
that-
him real hard.
So Kiki will suggest her the slap chat. She's like, this could be opportunity to be like, Dana played you, like something like that, like she straight up lied to you or some shit or whatever.
I
Like,
don't think
I'm
we
gonna
should-
slap chat in. Do you want me to take that?
I don't know that we should tell him what's actually under that mountain.
oh, agreed. No, agreed.
No, yeah, absolutely.
But just in other words, like,
But if we tell him that Dana's lying, we have to have proof that Dana's lying.
No, just say that, like, well, that's weird because Dana's the one who.
Or I could say like a little birdie told me.
No, I like the idea of, well, that's weird because Dana's the one who told us what you did.
Yeah.
And how to
I'm
find it.
gonna
yeah, there you go.
come up kind of behind him, and drop invisibility, and say, "It's a strange person to believe because she's the one who told us where to find you after that hit didn't work."
So he looks kind of back at you and he's like, not cool, bruh. Tessa, make a medicine check if you would, please.
Is he high?
And-
10.
Anyone, feel free to make a medicine check.
I'll make a medicine check.
Like I was gonna say like, are you drug? Like are you an acid?
Fucking 9.
16.
Atrocious.
15.
Okay, Thorax got a 19. So anyone who's over 15, so Kiki, he's pretty fucked up. And he has that sort of like residual drugs in the system, kind of hazy daisy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, I can help with this. Allie is gonna come over and hop up in his lap, and in the guise of like peeing on him, because she needs to have a justification for being in contact with him. In the guise of peeing on him, she's going to spend 2 key points to basically I'm Narcanning him. Functionally, what I'm doing is Narcan.
Yeah. So you hit him with that, and he's just like, you see as you get a look into the eye that isn't fully shut, it clears pretty quickly from the haze on there. He's just
Kind of do like the thing that animals do, where like they wipe their paws off after they've peed and then jump off in his lap.
yeah, and he's just
So wait, to be clear, did you actually pee
Yeah.
in his lap, or okay?
Yep.
Cool. Good job.
I was wondering about that.
Yep.
So you
I'm
hear,
gonna prestidigitate the smell for us, but not for him.
Does smell pretty.
Yeah.
and there's a moment where he's just like, he opens his mouth to scream but doesn't, because now all of the pain that was blocked, his pain sensors now kick back in from the beating he's taken from the Badgers and Tessa and Thrax, as he is now suddenly very, very sober, and
A room full of very angry people.
yeah, and he's like, oh, did bruh.
Kiki will duck out of the room for a second and find whoever the Badgers Den people are that brought him, and just be like, find him like this? Like, just curious, like, was he already fucked up, or did they?
Oh, yeah, and they tell you, like, he's usually like that, just how he is.
A lot. She'll convey that to the Slap chat and go back in. She was
While
curious,
Kiki's out, I'll come around so he can see me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just ask, so why is it so bad if it's my mountain and not your mountain?
And he's like, well, Dana has a plan how to keep Torg down there.
Tell me the fucking plan, dipshit.
She never told me the plan, he's saying, now that, like, you know, he's able to do the math now.
You believed her?
It sounded better when she was explaining it.
Were you high at the time?
What were you high on?
He tells you it is a drug that is referred to as foxfire. It is
Ooh.
incredibly addictive, sort of heroin-like. The main difference is that whereas heroin is a very jacked up high and a very down low, foxfire can last a lot longer. And it will have a lot of the longer term use of it, the more sort of residual effects you get like this, where he's real fucked up.
Who's going to say it? Do I have to say it? Foxfire's no match for Fox P. However.
Damn straight.
Come on.
Yeah, who's your supplier? Dana?
Dana.
You fucking idiot.
Everyone make me perception checks, please.
16.
I'm pretty shit at that. 13.
24.
3.
I don't know why anyone
Kiki's still
but
out.
Allie bothers rolling. I mean,
You're looking at... Actually, Tessa would probably notice this too, having some healing in the background. His hands have begun to shake.
Oh, he's like going through withdrawal.
Yeah, he's going through a very hard withdrawal at the moment. He's just not... Due to the stormlight, he's not totally aware of it. Like, between everything else that's going on,
yeah.
he's not... he may not consciously be aware of it, but his body is starting.
I'll go. I'll turn. There's a couple of honey badgers in the room, right?
Yeah, there's somebody that's been watching this whole thing, and they're enjoying it, and they're commenting on the fox that peed on him, and they seem to think that's a funny thing. They're probably going to tell a bunch of people later.
Tessa, do you point out that his hands are shaking?
Yeah.
Shit. Hey, y'all, how bad is Foxfire withdrawal?
Oh, he might die, depending on how long he's been on it.
When's the last time you were off of it, bud?
He cannot remember.
You ever been this sober? Okay. Shit.
Is it considered is drug addiction considered or is it something that cannot be by magic?
Deb, you're cutting in and out. I can only hear about every other word you're saying.
Apologies, sorry, that's been happening all week. Let me move my mic closer. Is drug addiction akin to something like a poison, or can it not be healed by spells or magic?
There are certain things where if you do it over a long enough period of time, it fundamentally affects your body. Because these are, like, Foxfire is a magically tampered with drug. So it's not just like, weed, things that are natural, like, dank kush that druids grow are...
So I can't lay on hands this away.
No, I mean, he's not gonna... He may or may not die from this withdrawal. But the badgers will tell you, it's like, the drug won't kill him. He's gonna want to die. And that's
gonna
want to
die.
do it. Yeah, he may not die. But, like, if you leave him unattended...
he would rather die than deal with
the withdrawal, because he's probably been using it for a very long time, which is to make that withdrawal very rough for him. It won't kill him, but it'll bring him pretty close.
Well, that's fine. I don't want to lose our source of information, but I mean, he did literally put a hit out on me. I'm not feeling particularly empathetic towards this guy.
Fair enough.
Okay. I don't think I'm ready to ice him just yet. I think we can get more info out of him, or maybe even turn him against Dana. Not that he's particularly reliable, but pointing the chaos somewhere else might be useful. And there's a certain degree too of if he's just been hard coerced into rolling with her. How long has he essentially not really had his own will, right?
Here's the problem. If she's his source, which it sounds like she might be, well, is he going to turn against her, or is he going to go crawling back to her? I just don't know where his commitment is to recover.
Yeah. We can probably keep him here until he gets through his withdrawal, maybe, possibly.
We could maybe use him as bait to lure her out, because we know, and I'm saying this via slapshot, so we can't hear this. We know what's under the mountain. So if she's got this grand plan, maybe she's trying to bring Torg back or something.
Yeah. Plus, we've got one hell of a lever against him, right? We'll let you go find Dana if you lead us to her or tell us, whatever. I like the idea. So, okay, yeah, I'll turn back to him, and out loud. So where is Dana?
He goes, she's in Ire. She's in Storm's Ire.
You guys got like a little business there or something?
Yeah, she does.
What? Where? What is it?
She owns, and then out comes some vomit. And then his body is beginning to react. The body is catching up with him now.
Sure. When I see him like start to heave, I'll pop out my my late night at the bar spell.
Nope.
Just right through the ring. It's gonna be okay.
Mm.
Kiki's so through the slap chat bracelets, Kiki's gonna be like, it's clear she's like, well, let him die. Like he tried to kill you, let him die. It's just one problem. But she'll absolutely defer to Nikki because he's her relation and
Sure.
problem. But she's like, if you want to use him, how are you going to keep him alive? It's basically what she's going to ask. Because Foxfire is so bad, the den doesn't fuck with it, right? Like it's just like it's not like you can get him enough to tide him over
Right.
right now. So she's just pointing out like time might be.
Yeah, I want to get whatever I can right now because he's either gonna die or be damn close to it for a while.
Yeah, so everyone make me an insight check quick.
Ooh, I'll take an insight check.
Oh, I got an 18 this time.
27.
Jesus Christ, Allie. You'd think I'd stop being surprised at this point. But...
Can we make it a persuasion check? No.
Kiki doesn't care.
The whole thing is noticing shit.
You and it as you're kind of working through these details, it dawns on Tessa and Allie that he really this is not a smart man. Like he is not the brightest. He's not the sharpest knife in the crayon box.
Which is really saying something because that implies that there's multiple knives in the crayon box.
Yeah. He's been probably drugged for a long time, or at least been kind of led along on it, and he genuinely believes his sister relation of what she says. It dawns on you based on meeting the other two that this is a lie she has been feeding him for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Is he still conscious?
She's like, look, he did take out a hit on you, but I think he genuinely thought he was saving you from something far worse at Dana's hands. And him being alive is probably not the worst thing.
I think maybe forced sobriety, and he obviously needs to pay for his crimes, so maybe turn him over to the authorities. They can chain him up so he can come down from this withdrawal and not hurt himself. Maybe
do the Badgers have rooms for that kind of thing?
Oh, they're not doing him remote, though. If you go and ask Vest, he might have an idea for you.
Yeah, I would definitely go and ask Vest regardless. Before I leave, I have one last question for Brush.
Mm-hmm.
Why would Dana turn on you?
He's on his face. You don't need to be Allie to see the sort of like genuine confusion, and it seems that this Dana was someone he trusted implicitly with his life. So the idea of Dana turning on him
does not compute.
No, it's not that. It's as if for the first time he's realized how much of a miscalculation he's done. And it's not that he's sad or about to cry. It's hard to read him because he's pretty beat up. Yeah. He just doesn't, he doesn't know what to do with it.
I'll shake my head and as we go out, I'll just tell the honey badgers like, don't take him out yet. I want to go check with Vest on what to do with this bitch.
Vest will tell you, to keep it short, that he knows.
Thanks.
Putting him, he has a friend in Tide's Breach, and that might be a good place to store him for a while. That will cost you a finder's fee, though.
How much?
How much?
Stereo. He will say it'll be about $250 to get him there and lock him up for he can give you about a week or so. And there will be sufficient healing to make sure he doesn't die.
I'd be willing to help subsidize that.
Yeah, if I can do 150 of that, if you guys can help with the other 100.
Yeah,
Nope,
I can.
not.
No problem.
She's willing to pay to get him, take him out.
That's
but
fair.
no.
That's
Fuck
completely
this guy.
fair,
She's like,
honestly. I can't blame you.
she's-
Thrax will kick in instead of Kiki, though.
Ellie will also kick in.
Cool.
This is kind of part of her whole life before death thing.
So they'll take 50. Is it 50, right?
If there's 3 of you pitching in, it'd be 33 a pop.
33. Okay.
As long as Thrax is okay with doing 34.
Yeah, Thrax is fine. He didn't pay last time, so he'll just give you 34 this time.
Thanks.
So
I was like, wait.
Yeah, you see the honey badgers come, put the hood back on, and take him out through another entrance, and they leave you folks in the main lobby, not the main lobby, like the room before this alone.
Well, at least he's not going to be putting hits out on you.
Yeah. We should make sure that there's not an active one.
Yes. Probably not a bad idea.
But I think that's something we can take care of next week. Rob looks very panicked about that. But from everyone here at RYAM, thank you folks very much for joining us. And next week, we'll see about this whole, active hit contract on Nikki and kind of dealing with that. So thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all next week.